Now, we're finally done with week two. Absolute chaos. Okay. It is time to get in some week three predictions. First game I want to talk about, I just wanted to get it out of the way because it's the one I'm the most unsure about. Number 12, Clemson. I'm using AP rankings, by the way. I have them at 13. Number 12, Clemson at Georgia Tech. There's two schools of thought I've seen this week regarding this game. The first school of thought is one side thinks this Georgia Tech team is sneaky, sneaky good, even after their slow start this year. And I look at that, and personally, I've bought in to that school of thought a little bit more. I had them as a preseason top 15 team. All right, I believe in Haynes King. I believe in Brent Key. But then you look at the other school of thought, and it's at some point Clemson can't fumble another one, right? I mean, three terrible games in a row. I mean, that's not really a precedent. That's just not something you see under Dabo Sweeney at Clemson. It's really hard to pick this game. On one hand, Clemson's favored for a reason, right? On paper, they're the more talented team, but it's at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, I think, is doubted by a lot of people. I think that motivates them. But also, I just looked at the style of football that gets played, and what really made me predict this game was Clemson's ability to defend the run. Now, looking at the statistics sheet for the LSU game, LSU versus Clemson, you're probably not going to understand what I'm saying. But rewatch the highlights, rewatch the film. When LSU needed to run the ball, they were able to. Now, of course, they had negative plays. I mean, it's Clemson, right? You're not going to run the ball down their throat the entire night. But an LSU program that has been known for their wide receivers, quarterbacks, the passing attack in general, and not a running game, was able to have those clutch moments when they needed to. If LSU is able to do that, then honestly, it makes me think, well, what's Georgia Tech going to be able to do? All right. Great running back. All right. Great way they incorporate their wide receivers into the run game. Haynes King, I don't even need to say anything about him. I just say Haynes King. I think if you know football, you understand what I'm saying when it comes to his rushing ability. Even though he can also pass very well as well. I think Georgia Tech realizes that schematically, if they play the style of football that they want to play and make it a clean game for them, not like against Colorado where they fumbled two times within like the first 5-6 minutes. They play mistake free, their style football. They're going to make it a slow, long game against Clemson. I think they win a close one. I think the Yellow Jackets get a statement win. And I want to say, just go ahead, get it out there. It wouldn't surprise me if Clemson wins. This is the most unsure I think I've been about a pick so far because of just the amount of questions about both of these teams. But I do think the Yellow Jackets do get a win in Atlanta. Now, Wisconsin at number 19, Alabama. Now, just quickly, despite Alabama's struggles, I think DeBoer keeps his head above water. All right. After the shutout against Louisiana Monroe, he keeps the positive yet fragile momentum going against Wisconsin. I think they're going to win. I think playing in Bryant Denny is really hard. It's one of the best atmospheres in college football. And you look at Wisconsin in the past 3 seasons, they're 7-7 on the road. And of course, many of those wins were against teams with stadiums nowhere close to the Crimson Tides. So I think Alabama keeps the momentum going after a bad loss in week one, and they win against Wisconsin. Now, number 18, USF at number 5, Miami. I think you've heard me talk very positively about the Bulls. I've been really impressed with their team. Alex Golish is a great head coach. And in about 6 to 8 months from now, if I get a notification from Adam Schefter that Alex Golesh took another job at a bigger school, that wouldn't surprise me. But I am high on this Miami team. I have them number 7 in the WG poll. I think Miami gets another home win against the Bulls and brings South Florida back to earth just a little bit before they head into conference play. Now, Florida at number 3, LSU. I didn't have much trouble predicting this one. Right now, Florida's looking like the worst nightmare for many analysts and people across the country. LSU's looking like the dream team for many of those same people, too. The Gators couldn't handle Byron Brown and the USF wide receiver core at home. I don't think they'll handle Garrett Nussmeier and their wide receiver core, which I think is top 2 in the country, in Death Valley at night. So give me LSU. I see a lot of the odds right now, or LSU -7. I think they cover. I think they go beyond that. I think they win by at least 2 scores. Big one, college game day. Number 6 Georgia at number 15 Tennessee. Safe to say these teams hate each other. They could both be unranked, bottom of the SEC, and it's still going to be a fantastic game. Bulldogs come off of a slouchy win against Austin PA. Tennessee comes off another big win against East Tennessee State. Now, Joey Aguilar, the quarterback for Tennessee, transferred from UCLA after Nico Imialava went to UCLA from Tennessee, basically a trade. 2 games, 535 yards, 5 touchdowns. This guy's pretty good. I didn't know if he had the arm or the ability to play in a Josh Heupel kind of big passing attack type of offense like you've seen Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton at times, but I think he fits right in. And of course, he has the explosive wide receivers such as Chris Brazzell to do it. But I want to remind people, as explosive as Tennessee's offense has been under Coach Heupel, they've always been a team that can run the ball. Each season under Heupel, they average about 220 rushing yards per game. So can Tennessee establish the run and open up this passing game and take a little bit of pressure off of Joey Aguilar against this always stout defense of the Bulldogs under Kirby Smart? Going to Georgia's offense a little bit. They have some underrated players at the skill positions. Nate Fraser at running back, Zachariah Branch, and Colby Young at wide receiver. You talk to Georgia fans, you talk to teams that are intertwined with Georgia a lot in the SEC. These names are known. But you don't hear a lot of people who are ACC fans, Big Ten fans, Big 12 fans talking about these guys like you hear everyone talking about Jeremiah Smith. And I'm not saying they're at the Jeremiah Smith level. Not absolutely. But the fact is, these guys, despite being very talented players, still their name isn't out there yet. And I think this could be one of the games where if they perform how they think they can, their names are going to be out there. So you have all the weapons on this offense. But can Gunnar Stockton go on the road in Neyland and secure a win with a clean ball game? That's going to be the most important thing. Trying to limit as many mistakes as you can will be important for this Bulldog offense. All right. This Georgia team, they're going into a hostile environment. This is the same environment that Alabama lost in. All right. If things don't go right for Georgia early, it could quickly spiral. And that's my biggest concern. Now, do I think it'll probably happen? Probably not, but you never know. This is a scrappy, intense rivalry game. The last time I was hyped about this game, the Bulldogs blew them out the water in Athens in 2023, when they were trying to make it to the playoffs. But I keep thinking about Neyland being one of the best atmospheres in college football. I think about how just something a little bit different about this Tennessee offense this year from years past. Um, I think the Vols come out with a statement win over Georgia. Now, I don't think the Vols will blow them out. I don't think Tennessee will do that at all. I think Georgia will keep it at most within like 14 points, and that's a little bit of a stretch if you ask me. I think Tennessee will win by a little bit less than that, but I think Tennessee gets a big win against the Bulldogs at home. Next game, number 16 Texas A&M at number 8, Notre Dame. I only have a few things to say about this. I like Notre Dame. I think they're going to do good things this year. I have them number 10 in the WG poll, slightly lower than the AP. All right, but man, if I don't have a good feeling about this team in College Station. I'm bought in on Mike Elko. I'm bought in on the resources and talent at Texas A&M, and I think they'll come in motivated. They've had this game circled on their schedule since last year, since that loss at home by a touchdown against the Fighting Irish. So feel free to let me hear it if I'm wrong, but I think the Aggies win a close one in South Bend. And then for the final game, uh, for week 3 predictions, just talked about them. Vanderbilt at number 11, South Carolina. Some context: South Carolina comes off a struggle win. Despite the score, South Carolina State at home, it was a rain delay. Despite all these little factors, seeing that in person, it was a struggle. The reason we got momentum going was because Vakari Swain, who's the best special teams player in the country right now, returned two punt returns for a touchdown back to back, and helped us go up 14-3. And eventually we scored another field goal, but really changing the game for us. So struggle win against South Carolina State, a team you're supposed to win comfortably against. But then, of course, I've mentioned this before. Vanderbilt with an impressive win against Virginia Tech and Blacksburg. You score 34 unanswered points in the second half. You can't put a knock on that, even if you hate Vanderbilt. Now, I have 2 or 3 big questions about this game. Firstly, can South Carolina have, at minimum, a competent offense? Doesn't have to be the greatest offense of the week. Can it be competent? Look at the film from South Carolina State. Yes, they started in a bad field position all night, but their offensive line couldn't block a JV defensive line, let alone an SEC team coming in hot who's had this game circled, right? Their run blocking looked terrible. Their pass blocking was almost just as bad. People and the thing I don't like about this is because the offensive line is bad, people are all of a sudden looking at Sellers as a bad quarterback. I mean, the same guy that people have been hyping up as a preseason Heisman contender, all of a sudden are saying he's this terrible quarterback. How can he get in any rhythm, even with his clutch ability, when he only has 1 to 2 seconds before having to escape the pocket? Some things need to be fixed on this offensive line. Mike Shula, Ronnie Teasley, Shane Beamer. This coaching staff knows that, but the question is, can they do it? I personally think they can. I'm a little biased. I'm a South Carolina fan. Of course, I'm probably going to say yes. But, I mean, this is a blitz-happy Vandy team. Look at how much they blitzed against the Hokies. And their ability to protect Sellers and get a run game going to open up the pass game for those talented yet young wide receivers, it's going to be a key for the Gamecocks. Next question. Can Vandy make those explosive and clutch plays like they did against Virginia Tech? You look at Pavia, he has that clutch ability. You know, you just look at some players and you see they have it. He does. You look at the game against Alabama last year, especially with his legs, but all of a sudden he's opened up his passing game as well. I mean, there was multiple big time plays down the sideline against the Hokies, right? I was like, dang, that's good. That's a good snag. Dang, that ball was put right on the money, right on a dime. And then I look at that, and then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about all those plays where Kyron Drones was throwing out 50-50 balls against the Gamecocks, and those Virginia Tech wide receivers came down with it every single time. So the Gamecock secondary, despite playing pretty good and this defense playing very well, has not been able to secure those 50-50 balls. And that's going to be a big tell, I think, for the Vanderbilt offense going into this game. So can he have those explosive moments? But can he also have those clutch moments? You know, you see Lenore Sellers all the time with these clutch moments against Texas A&M where he breaks like 3 tackles and then throws it down the field for like a 22-yard completion. Or I don't even just say his game against Clemson and you know what I'm talking about, 3rd and 16. Can Diego Pavia have this against these talented defensive front seven? Just a few names: Dylan Stewart, you probably know him. Brian Thomas Jr., who's on opposite side of him. That's a player that's really good. Nick Barrett, Fred Johnson, other players. So looking at this game as a South Carolina fan, I'm concerned, of course. But I think all this talk about Vandy coming into Willie B and whooping the Gamecocks, dominating their offensive line, having them circled on the schedule, this is the perfect environment for the Gamecocks. I mean, their fan base and their team is coming in motivated. I mean, if I were Clark Lee, I'd probably be a little bit mad because you're just giving the other team some bulletin board material to put up just on the projector and let them watch it for like 10 minutes and get them amped up. All I got to say is look at last season after the Old Dominion game. Look at how many people picked Kentucky left and right. Look at how all the NFL scouts were there for the Kentucky defensive line. South Carolina won that game 31-6. I think Williams Bryce shows it has one of the best atmospheres, especially at night. And the Gamecocks make a statement win against the Commodores. I'm not sure it'll look pretty. I'm not sure it'll be by a lot. But they'll prove that South Carolina is a good football team and maybe bring Vanderbilt back to earth just a little bit. Overall, I've done my predictions, I've done my reactions, I've done my poll. Last week was great, but the best thing about college football is we have another week. So I'm excited for Saturday. I hope you are too. It's been a long week, and we can always unite and enjoy over college football. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It doesn't hurt. It only helps me grow the platform. Please like, share, turn on the notifications so you can get relevant information. And if you want relevant information, follow my Twitter page as well. WG Sports, All Things CFB. So with that, have a good day and enjoy week 3 of college football.